seconds on the play clock. And snaps it in. It's going to be Terrell Hodges. Walked in. Mark Antony rolling out. He's in trouble. Wood releases. And off the Jim's head. Caught it! Yeah! 12-yard line. Jim Valle walks it in for the...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to Heard It Here First, your Week 4 review, Week 5 preview. And after a really good Week 4, we have a lot to bring you. We will have highlights from every single team this week. We will have stats of the players that are up to par as far as max preps. Sometimes the stats are in, sometimes they're not. That's really who I go through. So I'll give you that information as I get it. And, yeah, man, just going to be a jam-packed show. And we're going to start off with the game of the week last week, which was the Manor Mustangs versus the Hutto Hippos. And it was exactly why it was the game of the week. It was only a 7-point win for the Manor Mustangs, but the Mustangs win 43-36. They were negative 11 going into that game and pulled a 7-point W. And Maynard's, well, first and foremost, let's talk about Coach Brown. Coach Brown, in his second year as the offensive coordinator for the Manor Mustangs, was dialing up the perfect plays left and right. And Jordan Clark is outrageous wide receiver. That gentleman, he ended up having, 12 receptions for 276 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Coach Brown, being a UT graduate, hook 'em. I love my Longhorns. So Coach Brown, and not only that, Maynard's offensive line did great all night long. Camden ended up throwing 1 interception, and it was a forced ball. It wasn't because of pressure or anything of that sort, but Maynard's offensive line, after their first 2 weeks, they had to play against huge defensive fronts, and the way that they did this week was phenomenal. Coach Brown, a great coach. Offensive line, Xavier Hill, 20 carries, 121 yards, and 1 touchdown. He had a 68-yard touchdown run, and I was hoping we got to see the running game kind of take a leap in the right direction this week, and that's exactly what happened, man. Xavier Hill tore it up. The run game was established. The passing game was phenomenal. The offense was clicking. The defense, 2 interceptions. It was Cofield and Osarine. I'm so sorry. Osarine, the defensive tackle, making a very athletic play, and then Robinson doing what he does best, getting 2 sacks, getting the pressure. Maynard's defense did something that nobody has done against Cade Steffick this year, and that was intercept him. And they got 2 interceptions against Steffick, but Maynard still doing what they did offensively, 36 points. Caden Steffick had 2 rushing touchdowns. I believe Chavez, the running back, had numerous great runs and touchdowns. Huddle's offense was there defensively. Maynard just had the better game. Woods, Ronzel Woods. We got film of his pass deflection and the way that he played the ball in a really good defensive play that saved a touchdown for sure. And Jordan Clark, like I said, he had a really phenomenal punt return as well that put Manor into scoring position. So you had all 3 aspects of the game going. You had offense rolling. You had defense rolling. You had special teams rolling. And quarterback, Camden Huff, 17 of 31 for 341 yards, 5 touchdowns. Offensively, Manor is exactly where I thought they would be. This week they are going up against Westwood. They do got to go to Westwood's house, who is 0-4 and hungry for a victory. Head coach Anthony Wood, who's had some time there to develop this Westwood team, and unfortunately, they've had a slow start to the season. But they are favored to beat Manor by 11 points. This is a defense that has allowed 35 points or more in every single game. They had a tough loss to McNeil, 35-14 in district play. A tough loss to Cedar Ridge at Cedar Ridge, 35-28, a 7-point loss. And Cedar Ridge got a really good running back. This District 25 6A is, man, it's such a tough district. You'll have to watch out for Drew Norrell, the 3-year letterman and wide receiver with 22 receptions, 375 yards. They have the quarterbacks throwing for a total of 5 touchdowns, I believe, but it's only reported 1 receiving touchdown. I have a feeling Norrell has a couple of receiving touchdowns this year. Xavier Sutton, the running back, who has 81 carries and 352 yards on the season, averaging 4.3, and Cameron Green, 28 tackles. Kendrick Pinchback, a good friend of mine, he's helping me with some of these predictions, and his bold prediction is he sees Camden throwing for 350 yards this week. I said I think it's going to shift the other way. I think we're going to see once again our running game and the rushing develop even more. And I got Xavier Hill going for over 150 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Not only do I think Manor covers that 11-point deficit, I think they win with their defense coming out, doing what they do, Cofield, Robinson, and Godley doing exactly what they do, kicking butt. Then you'll see offense exploding. I think special teams doing his thing and Jordan Clark being such a phenomenal athlete. I think we could see this Manor Mustangs win in fashion 41-21. Um, Jumping over to the Rockdale Tigers. The Rockdale Tigers versus Giddings, which they had them as a negative 19-point underdog. I said 24-21, Rockdale would win. Rockdale wins 26-21, going 3-1 on the season. Offensively, Shepard with 6 receptions, 135 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And that one-handed snag that he had to take it to the house, man, it was a beautiful play. That dude is a phenomenal athlete and a really key piece to this Rockdale team. Williams throws for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jeremiah Butler, the sophomore running back, continues to do great, pounding the rock as he had 52 yards on the ground and another rushing touchdown. We said it would be defense that was going to win this game, and that's what it was. Defense had a great game and allowing holding the Buffaloes to only 21 points and a very good rushing attack they had. DeAndre Stevens with a forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, and a 78-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. He pulled it all. He pulled him the hat trick, fumble recovery, forced fumble, and touchdown defensively. I was watching this play that was sent in and by Miss Nancy, and whenever I was watching that, I was like, "What's going on here?" And then I just see Dre take off, and I'm like, "Holy crap!" DeAndre Stevens does it again, man. Defensively, Sorto 7 tackles, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Shepard and Brody Willard getting the INT. Brody Willard has done a really good job coming down and playing the run. You see him in the highlight we have here with a good tackle for a loss. Willard coming down, filling the gap. The defensive front doing their job. I think it's going to take that again this week as they go to Groesbeck, and Groesbeck actually versus Groesbeck. They have Groesbeck at home. And so Groesbeck 3-1, coached by Jerry Bomar. They have them favored by plus. They have Rockdale favored by +6. I think it's going to be a really good game again. Groesbeck is run heavy, but it's not as run heavy as Giddings by no means. Quarterback Trent Platt, the 3-year letterman, has 800 yards passing and 7 touchdowns, 316 rushing and 6 touchdowns. Jordan Smith, the sophomore, had 377 yards, averaging 15.1 yards a tote and 3 touchdowns. He also has 14 receptions, 383 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I think it will come down to the front seven again. Sandoval, Alderete, Shepard, Willard, and Sorto doing what they have to do in that front and in the box to shut this down. I think we have the defensive backs and to keep up with them with Dre, Wilson, Willard, Shepard, whoever. Um, we got it. Wide receiver rise, Shepard, Dre, and Reagan. The way that they and Williams, they complement each other. The receiving game over there, complemented by not only Raiden Hamilton but the sophomore Butler. It's something that Rockdale's offense is clicking, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. Randall Stewart says defensive play wins the game. He's taking Rockdale 14-10. I agree. I think it's going to be a higher scorer game. I think what turns the page, it'll be another interception at the end of the game. I'm taking Rockdale 31-28 in a close one. On to the next. Cameron Yeoman. We got some highlights here as the Cameron Yeoman do fall 0-4. They play Lorena and they play Lorena tough in a 13-26 loss. Lorena's a really good team, and what I thought was a rebuilding year didn't take them in no time, as Lorena has been able to compete against Malakoff, against Franklin, even in their seeing so-called not success, they are playing good against great teams, and so Lorena is a dang good team, and unfortunately, the Yeomen fall to them. Flemings had 4 receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown. They bring in Travion Miles to play quarterback, and he does a really good job stretching the field. 132 yards passing and a touchdown. Goodrum with a rushing touchdown. Uh, Bubba Lopez pinchback. He had 3 carries for 15 yards, 2 receptions for 20 yards. He had a really good screen that we'll show you here, and he runs with authority at the end, putting his head down, getting the extra yards, and just being elusive. It was Fleming's pick 6 for me, and we got footage of that. That dude takes it to the yard. Man, Fleming's had to be the player of the game with a receiving touchdown and a pick 6, accounting for all of the Yeoman's points. What a great outing for him. Yeoman play at Mejia. Mejia's 1-3, but they're a very good 1-3 team. Head coach Aaron Noel and them are favored by 1 point to beat these Cameron Yeomen. They have allowed 23 or more points a game, and they do have an explosive offense. They don't tell you much about the offense in max preps or anything, so you have to watch your film. Braden Wilson, the 6'1", 190-pound quarterback, is going to be somebody to reckon with. And Jocko as Rob Cooper, the running back, he was breaking it off left and right against Teague. And the guy that he seems to go to the most, as in Braden Wilson and Jatavius Blewett, the wide receiver, those two dudes connect a lot. And so a very lethal offense, a defense that does allow points, and um, players missing is what's plagued Cameron. They haven't had all of their players healthy. And so as this pre-district matchup, their last matchup, I do have them winning this one. I think they'll get their first win. Kendrick says, if Grice plays 200 yards on the ground, if Bubba gets to start 150 on the ground, that's his bold prediction. I say defense and special teams scores again, and it's a 28-21 victory for these Cameron Yeomen. And last but not least, Del Valle. Del Valle is, even in this loss, y'all, keep your heads up, because Del Valle's playing football in 2024, and a tough loss to 14-21 Coppers Cove. This is heard it here first, and we always talk about the Central Texas showcase of premier talent. And you got to give credit where credit is due. Sophomore running back KJ Ziegler for Coppers Cove breaks it off with 17 carries, 182 yards, and 3 touchdowns. we didn't have an answer for KJ Ziegler, and the dude ran at like a monster. The sophomore running back. In my short broadcasting career, I've seen um, the running back for Dripping Springs, Jack Kaiser. He started as a sophomore. He was one of the greatest running backs I've seen out of high school. Nico Hamilton for Lake Travis. He was a dang good running back to watch. Kel Hatnot, the running back at Johnson right now, he started as a sophomore. He was one of the running backs that have been dynamic that really caught my eyes. KJ Ziegler joins that list for me as one of the most dynamic running backs I've seen. Big dude and just could carry the load. He is a force to be reckoned with. Defensively, Del Valle did good. They held on to 21 points. We didn't really have an answer for their running game. And Del Valle's done great defensively all year long. So it's nothing to hold your head on, only allowing 21 points. And offensively, we've done really good all year long. We didn't finish some drives this game, and there was some big catches that we didn't catch. And so there were some little miscues. But in all, Del Valle heading into district with a 2-2 record, what Coach Atkins has brought offensively to these Del Valle Cardinals, what Coach Patman and Coach Tucker do defensively for these Del Valle Cardinals. There's nothing to worry about. This is one of the most competitive teams I've seen since I've been here, and it is. And in this game, Kevin Meeks had a rushing touchdown. It is good to see Kevin Meeks
and that's got to be Meeks. He's trying to find something to happen over here on the near side. He's got the blockers and passes the last guy to beat. High steps into the outside. First play.
Kevin Meeks is a really quick, shifty wide receiver, great on special teams, and here you see that he has the speed to even carry the ball and get around the corner. Cannell Hodges gets his 7th rushing touchdown of the year.
And Tony back on the field, hands it off, rumbling forward, diving in, and that is another Del Valle Cardinal touchdown.
Offensively, Bradley Dent's running, of course, is something that has kept us in every single game this season. Defensively, Carmelo Jones, I had him for 9 tackles, a tackle for a loss, and a pass deflection. Carmelo Jones was all over the place, and I feel like he was Del Valle's defensive leader of the week this week. Robinson had 6 tackles, 5 of them solos, but I have them accounted for. All of these stats are unofficial. 2 tackles for a loss, and then they switch over to special teams. And Hayward's kick return really shifted Del Valle, and we started off great.
Turning deep, goes to the left side, springing, getting to the edge. Hayward to the 40, to the 50 with the kicker to beat. Still on his feet down to the 44-yard line.
Special teams doing right. We had offense going down and scoring immediately. We had defense doing its thing, and Coppers Cove did its thing as well. So in a really tough loss, Del Valle playing some dang good ball. So as we go into against Austin High, they're 2-2 as well. It's a battle of 2-2 teams. As head coach Bernard Riley and the Austin High Maroons are favored by 16 points. If that don't get you pumped up, Del Valle, I don't know what will. They now know we can play and still doubt us. They won against Round Rock Westwood 35-34. They lost to Johnson 44-35. So Austin High is a good team. This is a team that I think we're going to have our hands full, and I think it's going to be a lot closer to 16 points. But they are good. Bryson Batts and the running back / wide receiver, athletic. We just got to contain him, and I know it sounds like we just got to contain him like it's that easy. It's not that easy against Bryson Batts. He's a dang good ball player. But he does like to stretch the outside. I feel like where our defense has struggled has been interior defense, filling the A and B gaps. When they stretch the field and try to get outside, even if you can get outside an outside linebacker, Coleman Patton has done great sealing the edges. Our cornerbacks do a great job at making sure to contain and nobody getting outside. Salazar and Sotelo come flying down and playing from the inside out and being able to fill the edge. It's not the outside that scares me, so I think we will match up well against this Austin High team. John Latham is a big quarterback that will throw the rock, and our defensive backs are ready. The 6 foot, 200-pound quarterback is really good, and Will Peeler is that dude is just something else. Will Peeler is a dang good linebacker at 6'1", 220. So defense keep kicking butt. Special teams keeps making plays. Offensively, if we play like we did against Leander and against Cedar Creek, I think we'll be fine. I think Coach Atkins is such a great hire and what he's brought to Del Valle already. And Alex Marcantoni and his quarterback leadership, offensively, we are fine. And so Kevin McAdams has 14-7 Austin at halftime. But Del Valle comes out in the second half and wins 28-21 Del Valle. I'm going a 1-point game. I think they remember that the tough loss that Del Valle lost last year, and they go back to House Park and take the dub 29-28, a 1-point game. And that's what I have for Del Valle. So at the end of this, we have a really great week of matchups. I think it's going to be the first time that not only Del Valle, that Heard It Here First has a chance to have all 5 teams we're following win. And that would be really cool to announce and bring it to your week 5. So that's your week 4 review. That's your week 5 preview. We're going to have a game of the week where we have Taylor and Manor New Tech in the game of the week. We have an interview with defensive tackle Caddy Maravilla for the Taylor Ducks, and we'll talk about some notable teams in that. So, guys, thank you once again. Thanks for the highlights. We hit that subscribe button. Let's try to get this subscriptions up to, if we can get it up to 100.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Seconds on the play clock, and snaps it in. It's going to be